My dad passed away, and now I'm alone, dodging cops while trying to survive. The world changed drastically when my dad passed on. It felt as if the earth below me split, casting me into an unfamiliar realm that I didn't know how to traverse. My dad was always my rock. He held us together, kept us steady. But with his departure, I was left with nothing but a name, a location, and a whole array of questions that went unanswered. I can recall the day he passed as vividly as if it were yesterday. The hospital room was frigid, uncomfortably so, and the machines beeped less and less with each passing moment. I was holding his hand, murmuring words that I hoped might bring him solace, though inwardly I realized nothing could ease his journey. He had always been the strong one, the defender. Yet, that day, the pillar of our lives was fading away. I was powerless to halt it. The funeral was a haze. The condolences, those empty phrases. He was a great man. We will miss him. All felt insincere. I only wished to retreat into myself and quietly disappear. Yet life, or what little remained, showed no mercy. It insisted that I keep forging ahead, though I had no grasp of my destination. It wasn't long before the police began appearing. Not just one or two, but an entire squad. They had been patrolling around our home for weeks prior to my dad's passing. He wasn't merely a man who clocked in and out of work. He harbored secrets, the kinds of things you dare not probe into, the details that bring trouble when you know too much. It became clear that my dad had been entangled in matters I didn't fully comprehend. And with his death, those issues didn't simply vanish. One evening, I returned home to discover my front door smashed in. Papers were strewn across the floor. His documents, my papers, items that bewildered me. They were seeking something, though I remained oblivious to what it was. I quickly grabbed what I could. Some cash, several outfits, and a backpack to stow it all away. It felt as if I was fleeing, although I wasn't entirely clear from whom. The police were closing in, and I had no alternative safe haven. I swiftly learned how to evade them. I wasn't a hardened criminal, yet at that moment, I realized that innocence mattered little. Survival was about being swift, about keeping a low profile, and never placing trust in anyone. I navigated through back alleys, avoided main thoroughfares, and figured out the locations where the cops seldom ventured. I crashed at friends' places, all equally lost as I was, though we rarely discussed our plight. The quiet was oddly soothing. I made blunders, significant ones. I resorted to stealing food when it became unaffordable, got too involved with unsavory characters, and placed trust in those unworthy of it. After each error, I was forced to flee once again, leaving fragments of myself behind in the process. But I was changing as well. I grew tougher in ways I never anticipated. I learned the ins and outs of the streets, trained myself to read the expressions and movements of strangers. I discerned when to conceal myself and when to remain motionless. Somehow, amidst the turmoil, I began to uncover my dad's history. I started to grasp what he had been involved in, the actions he took to shield me from the world's harsh realities. But now, the world showed no inclination to safeguard me, and so I continued to flee, day after day, lacking a true objective. The police were always trailing close behind, a few paces away, at most. There were moments I contemplated surrendering, yet thoughts of my dad stopped me. He would never have abandoned me, not under any circumstance. I was uncertain whether this relentless chase would ever conclude, if I would discover serenity, or even a place to lay low. Yet as long as I could persist, keep surviving, I realized I wasn't utterly adrift. Perhaps one day, I'd uncover the truths my dad shielded me from. Perhaps one day, I'd acquire the answers necessary to cease this relentless pursuit. Until then, I simply had to keep pressing forward,